Hi, I'm Jason Sterling and a member of the EA Creator Network. As such, some of the packs and the following content have been provided free of charge by the EA Creator Network and previously the EA Game Changers program. Thanks for watching. I'm Jason Sterling, and we're going to jump right in here. This is the first trailer for the new Sims 4 expansion pack, Lovestruck. And like every first trailer, there is a lot to unpack here. Quick shots showing us a lot of things, one right after another. Of course, we're going to start with a zoom in onto the world. Is the world beautiful? Yes, the world is beautiful. The world is beautiful, pretty much like always. Mostly the Sims worlds are pretty beautiful. What runs this particular shot is the writing at the bottom of the screen that says, "Not all images appear in game." Now, if you've ever seen a video that I've done, a review I've done of a trailer, you'll know that I always ask why. Why are all the images that are for a video game, all the images in the trailer for a video game, not actually in the game? Why do you need to put something in this particular trailer to sell me on the game that's not in the game? I don't know. But I do know that that is the disclaimer. That's the very first thing you get to see right off the bat, just like with this video. It's my disclaimer to start. That's their disclaimer. But the world is beautiful. It does look really good as this first shot hits us. Now, the very first thing we see is a romantic kiss that leaves room for Jesus, as they say. You know, right there in the middle, leave that room for Jesus. Don't get too close. It's followed up by a little bit of an enthusiastic peck on the cheek. So a nice, innocent sort of romantic love there to start this particular trailer off. Now, one thing I really like here more than the kiss is the little stand behind them, which looks like a florist shop. I'm thinking if we get lucky, and this is going to sound odd for me to say this, if we get lucky, it'll be a rabbit hole. Now, I don't like rabbit holes. Again, if you've seen reviews, I don't like rabbit holes, but I do have one basic exception, and that is for places for shopping. So like the fish market in Tomarang, or if it was a bookstore or something like that. Better than just an empty shell there. It is nice to be able to have some interactions with it. And so, yeah, I would love for this to be an actually active florist shop, especially since coming up, there is a floral interaction. It'd be nice if you went there, right, and you could buy flowers. Then you go over to see the new love of your life from Cupid's Corner and give them those flowers. Now, I think it's about 50-50 that it will be an actual active rabbit hole. That's not really active gameplay, but it'll be a rabbit hole that works. Or it'll in 50-50, that'll just be a shell. I hope it's not just a shell. It looks really cute, though. It does look cute. The whole world looks cute. In fact, back there in the background behind the little, florist shop, we've got a great first teaser look there of the city. We're getting a city center, and that's kind of our first little look. We have a somewhat follow-up view that is a little bit smaller in scale. It's a couple at a fountain. It looks very good. I hope that most of these pieces are available in build buy, right? Or at least in debug, especially like the fence and the fountain itself. Again, it's kind of a toss-up. I mean, will they do it? I mean, probably it'll be in debug, but is it going to be an actually usable physical item that you can just easily access without a cheat and build buy? Kind of a toss-up. Kind of like the florist shop, kind of a toss-up. I'm going to say 50-50 on that one. We kind of come into a little bit more of a urban environment, a little more urban. It's the plaza. If you've seen the leaks and you've already seen it, it's a big picture from all the leaks. It's got a little bit of graffiti there, but this is a little bit wider shot. We can see off to the side, there's a little parking lot with a taxi cab there. I'm sure the taxi cab is not active. You cannot get in. They did not add cars to this pack. I'm going to lay odds on that one that it did not happen. But it is nice set dressing, and it does have a sort of quasi, urban feel. It still feels a little suburban here, a little not really built up enough to qualify, I think, for a Latin American or European urban center, but it is nice and I do like it. The clothes we see are really cool. They got kind of a 1970s vibe almost, 70s. The whole pack to me gives me a 70s, 80s vibe. We're coming up on the hero of our trailer, the guy I like to think of as the future gay hustler in my particular game, right? He is here at the Plaza O Love, and he is in love. You can see here from this animation, he's got this super cool heart love. It immediately attracts a young lady over, but what is not attractive really to me is this kind of urban plaza. It seems to be surrounded just by rabbit holes, which seems odd. I mean, are there any lots here? That's a little worrisome. Where are the lots that should be backing up to this plaza because all the buildings around it seem to be blank window buildings, which is characteristic, of course, of a rabbit hole. So that seems really weird. And I can't imagine we're going to have just a plaza like this to go to without any buildable lots around it. But the way it looks is like all the buildable lots would have to be off camera, like behind you. So I don't know. So this is kind of worrisome to me. It's kind of worrisome. It's tempering my love for this particular plaza. But there's a few other things about it, but we'll come back to sort of that sort of stuff coming up. This next scene coming up, I'm sure we have all of the assets required for it because it is a built scene. It is a lounge. It's a lounge in our new city where you go to find love. And you can see there's a whole list of items here just in these shots of the new assets we are getting. In fact, I made a whole list of them here. Let's see. We've got neon signs. We've got a new bar, a new round bar. In fact, it's a new round bar, which looks really great. We've got a new bar back. We've got new bar stools, new windows, new lamp, tables, occasional chairs, and wallpaper. And I love the wallpaper. In fact, I actually have wallpaper a lot like this in my shop in real life. It's a different color. It's green. It's not red. But I do love it. I actually posted a picture on Twitter of that. You know, I was like, yeah, you know, finally there's something in The Sims I actually really do have in real life. There's also a lot of other things here. I made, again, some lists. You know, there's a lot of new clothes and jewelry on display. And I particularly love the heart necklace that the guy is wearing in this scene. There's also a lot of new interactions, new romantic stuff sort of going on, like you'd find in a lounge, right? A little dancing, a little smooching, and our poor guy is not into his friendly lady's behavior. She's definitely very friendly. She's very friendly. She sees, you know, she's not going to limit herself. Why should she put limits on herself? Why does she need boundaries when she's out to have a good time? She doesn't need boundaries for that. He obviously does, though, so he switches to Cupid's Corner. He's going to switch to Cupid's Corner and see if he can find someone who's a little more monogamous for him to maybe meet, form a relationship with, at least for the week, at least for a day, right? Now, our hero leaves all of his options open. As you can see, he selects every single thing. He's like, I'm going to just try it all. I'm out of luck, right? But one thing that is not an option for him or for the player is to select couples or groups. Now, I know. I don't want to hear it. Some people are happier in a cluster like that, and that's fine with them. We're not going to throw any shade their direction, except Max's kind of did because you can't choose that here on Cupid's Corner. Cupid's Corner appears to be for the single sim looking for the single sim, which is a little odd because I know there's supposed to be some polyamorous sort of tie-ins with the new updates to this game. So you would think there might be that option for couples at least. No. I mean, I'm going to guess no because I don't see anything here that indicates that. So I'm definitely going to guess no on that one. He settles on the alluring trait, Monica, and she lives in his hometown. Now, the other three options he went across had no hometown listed. It was all just left blank. I do wonder, are we going to really be able to customize that? Or is it pretty much going to be the hometown where your sim actually lives? So if my sim is currently in world in Del Sol, will it just automatically list Del Sol? If he's just in the gallery, will it list no world? If he's just in my catalog of sims, but not in world, will it list no world? Or will we have the option to put in a world? Will we have an option to put in ourselves? I would like to do that. I think it'd be kind of cool if you could put the part of the world you're from in real life. So I could put my sim is from Oklahoma or my sim is from America or something. And it would show that in game. I think that'd be cool. I don't think it's going to happen. That's speculation. That it would be cool if it did happen. I don't think it will. Monica is getting ready, and there's another point here where I feel a little uneasy about the pack with this particular trailer, and it could be the trailer's fault. Okay, let me disclaim that. The fact of the matter is, though, looking at this picture around her home, there's an awful lot of base game stuff here. Now, there was plenty of, new assets in the lounge, but as far as like the home, there's an awful lot of base game stuff here. And I felt kind of the same way in the plaza, like I'm looking at a lot of base game stuff. And I hope that the reason why we have a new Latin world or sort of themed, a little bit themey like that, isn't because we already have a lot of those assets in game, you know, from Selva Dorada or from the base game even, so they could kind of fall back on that instead of having to create new stuff. I hope that's not the case, but it does make me uneasy, you know, to see those two things. What doesn't make me uneasy, though, is this new mirror. Well, it does a little bit. No, it makes me hopeful, not uneasy. It makes me hopeful. I like the mirror. I like the fact it's got the pictures on it. In this shot, you can kind of see it's like she has pictures of her kids, pictures of her children around the mirror. That gives me hope, because there's another shot later of this mirror where it looks like there's pictures of the sim on the mirror. So my hope is we can put our own pictures right on the mirror, our own pictures that our sims take in game. They can then apply to the mirror. I hope that's the case. It looks like that's the case. This makes it a whole lot nicer and cooler object if it is the case. I can't imagine that the two examples we have on screen right in this trailer, at least two of them in my head right now, both show, you know, sims that are within the trailer, and that's not going to be possible in game. Now, you never know. I had to pause for a minute because you do never know, but I can't imagine that that's going to be the case. I do think we're going to be able to apply our own photos to this mirror. I know it's kind of a simple thing, but I think it's really cool, and it's the sort of thing that's really going to lend a realism, you know, to your game and to your sims. Our hero arrives to pick up Miss Monica. He brings her flowers. Now, I don't think he got them from the courtyard, but the shot out into the courtyard in this sort of scene is really pretty. I do like it. It is another shot of the world. I have a few reservations about the world, and we'll go over those at the end of this video, kind of on the reflection. But it does look really pretty through the doorway here. He brings her flowers, which I hope he was able to buy at the florist shop there. I do hope that. And it is a new sort of interaction. You know, the bundle is new. I feel like we have the interaction already of giving a rose, right? Giving a rose, that romantic interaction. This one is new. You can bring a whole bundle of flowers. I do like that sort of little update. Again, it's a minor update, but I do like it. I like it even better, Maxis, if he could go to the florist shop first and actually buy them. As they're leaving, you can see a hint of new furniture in the background here in this picture, of course. But the thing that I really love, the thing I really like is the house number on this particular home, because this has got to be a built structure, right? Right? I think so, right? It's got to be a built structure, something we can build ourselves, something we can change. And if we've gotten house numbers, I'm going to love it. On one caveat here. I'm going to love it if we can set the numbers ourselves, or if the numbers at least are the numbers of the lot that you're building on in game, since all the lots typically have some sort of address. If it's the actual address of the lot in game and the number reflects that, I'm going to love it. Okay, if it's just random numbers, and it's probably just random numbers, I'm not really going to love it as much, because it's going to limit its usability. I'm going to want something that's more realistic to the game. And again, maybe it's small, maybe it's nothing, but I do feel like with those house numbers, it should be the lot number, right? It should be the lot where your sim lives. So I'm real hopeful for that. If that's not the case, I might use it in a few places, like in an apartment where the number on the door might not matter as much, because it's not technically the lot number. It's the apartment door number, right? But yeah, I doubt I'll use it very much. Now, what I love most so far is this Penthouse Lot coming up. We've got 2 Penthouse Lots coming with this particular pack. Now, what do I not love? Oh boy. What I don't love is it's a 20 by 15 lot. It's the smallest lot we have in the game. Now, I like what they did here. This looks pretty cool. I can do a lot of cool things with a 20 by 15 lot, and I am going to build it out. I'm already working on it, in fact. But it does disappoint me that it's not at least 20 by 30. That's really the smallest size I feel like we should get. So that is a little bit of a disappointment. I am excited to get it. I'm excited to build there. I'm especially excited that it appears to be in a city center type of neighborhood. I hope down on the ground level, it carries that feel off, okay? I hope, like San Myshuno, when you're on the ground level, you do feel like you're more in an urban core instead of in a suburban town that just happens to have a few skyscraper shells around it, right? That's what I hope. There's a lot of new assets available, visible in this particular picture. A lot of new assets coming with the pack. Gives me hope there. But the big asset, the big thing here is going to be the curved pool. Okay, let me just say, I hope that's right. Those can be faked, right? And we've all seen curved pools before. It doesn't look like it's fake. The wall of the pool is curved. You cannot fake that. So the wall of the pool is curved. I do think we're getting curved pools. Now, let me say, though, I hope they work, right? Because we have round rooms, we have rounded platforms, stuff like that. Those don't always work that well. They can be kind of a hassle to deal with. I think the pool could be better. It could be better because the Sims just swim in it, so there's not as many routing issues as we can run into with round platforms and round walled rooms. But I hope that it is. We've wanted round pools for a long, long time, and I hope they work. Walking into the building, we come upon a janitorial closet conveniently located for your woohoo needs. And let me just say, once again, The Sims has come through and fulfilled a dream of having woohoo in a janitorial closet to the smells of lemon fresh pine sol, right? So once again, The Sims has come through and fulfilled the dream for a lot of us. I mean, me. When I say me, I assume everybody else is exactly like me. So yeah, that's a big thing coming up. Now, one thing, again, I hope that we can build these closets ourselves and we can just label it as a place to have woohoo, or maybe the door just activates as woohoo, right? The door itself is a woohoo door. Although I'd really like to be able to use any door and really kind of list it for my own. I say that because we have closets in game that we can have woohoo in. They're from Get Together, but they only come in, maybe like 10 different colors and wood tones, 10 total swatches. So if it doesn't really match your decor, well, that's just too damn bad. You're just going to either use it because that's your option, or you're not going to have a closet. At least that way it was for a while. Nowadays, we do have Dream Home Decorator. It comes with a lot of closet stuff, and you can build kind of a walk-in closet yourself. In fact, I do it all the time, and that works really great. But you can't woohoo in the walk-in closet. Why would you want to? I don't know. Why do they want to do it in this janitor's closet? Because that's who they are. But at the end of the day, I would like to be able to build this to look like what I want it to look like. Fingers crossed, we'll see. That doesn't happen. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to be the case. I think it's going to be a pre-built, placeable object, and I'll be happy enough with it. I'll put up with it. I will put up with it. Now, it's interesting that they are walking through something that looks like a lobby for this particular penthouse. That does beg the question, is this maybe the scene that is not included in game? Because so far, none of the penthouse lots have had a lobby like that. They've all just been entered through a rabbit hole style door, and you dematerialize and then materialize up at the penthouse level. So this does beg the question, is there a lobby for these particular penthouses? Is there an elevator there you're going to enter, much like a regular apartment setup is done in San Myshuno? I doubt it. I really don't think so. I think this is faked. I think this is the story element, right? And they only put it in there maybe to show the closet, the janitorial closet. I can't imagine anything else. But that does beg that question, because again, you're looking at this thinking, oh, hey, we've got lobbies now. We've got lobbies now for the penthouse buildings. That's going to be so great, because look, it's right here in the trailer, you guys. It's right here in the trailer. And then you get the game and it's not there. So anyway, I don't think it's going to be there. But the apartment itself is there. The apartment itself is there. We go up to his apartment. It looks really good. Again, a lot of brand new assets here, giving me a real 80s vibe again, especially things like those dining room chairs. We've got another single tile bar here, though, which is probably why we got it for free a few weeks ago. But hey, I do think that's fine. I do think that's good. I'm glad they gave it out for free for the people who do not get this pack, because I think it's really needed in game to have a single tile option there. Looks really cool. Also, in regard to the 80s, those animal prints, you got some curvy type of furniture coming up, sort of a vaguely Art Deco look to it. All that really does strike me as kind of a more 80s bent to this particular style. Come back to that at the end of this video. But that's where we are now. There is the strawberry feeding interaction. That's all there appears to be there is strawberries. I'm curious if the box maybe has candy in it too, like it could feed someone a chocolate or something like that. All it seems to be, though, is strawberries, which is too bad. Since it's a pre-built box, that's why I'm guessing that. I would rather be able to feed your sim anything, right? Anything that you have in inventory, anything you want to bring or cake or whatever. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think it's all going to be pre-done stuff tied just to that box. It is a good enough interaction. It does look good enough. Maybe if we get lucky, you know, there'll be more than just strawberries. There'll be a few other things you could choose and that are like a strawberry that you could give them to eat. And it'll be a little more extensive in its, you know, in what you can do with it. We have a great twirl and dip kiss interaction that comes up next. It'd be great if the twirl and dip was, you know, incorporated into an actual dance between two Sims on a dance floor. I don't think it is. I don't think it will be. I think it's just going to just be this kiss interaction, but it is still cool. I do still like it. With storytelling, you might be able to do a little something where he spins her on the dance floor and it looks like that was incorporated to their dance routine. I don't know. Maybe. But it is pretty cool. They go into the bedroom, which was quick, wasn't it? I mean, they just met. Dear me. They just met. They're already in the bedroom. And she does a sort of little dance. She's doing a little sort of sultry dance. I think that's the sultry dance. It is pretty silly. It's not really as realistic, I think, or real as the, you know, the dance we got with Salvadorada, right? A sort of Latin, sort of sexier dance. It is a solo dance. I mean, I'm going to guess that it's solo. It certainly looks solo, like the Salvadoran dance. I regret that. I wish we had more couples dancing in game. We don't, and I don't think this one is either. Also, it looks remarkably like the sort of romantic interaction we already have, right? We have that romantic interaction where I can't remember what the exact way it's termed, but it's like act flirty or be alluring or something like that. Kind of reminds me of that. So they do that. And so the little dance thing is designed, I think, to look silly. It is silly. It's a little bit corny. Also, they start trying on role-playing costumes, which I don't know who role-plays as a giant, what is that? Eggplant, right? I don't know who role plays like that, but you do you. If you're one of the people that does it, you don't have to tell me. You don't have to say in comments, Jason, I do that. Okay, I put on a giant eggplant and parade around the bedroom because it turns her on. You don't have to tell me. It's okay. You don't have to. I get it. I don't get it, but don't tell me anyway. It's none of my damn business. But anyway, that's one of them. And so the costumes also come across as very silly, a very kind of just a joke. But there are a couple little more mature ones. There's a fireman, right? There's a fireman or fire lady. And there's like a French maid. And I'm going to assume the French maid costume can be used for either sex. I'm going to guess that. I don't know that. But everything else in game can be used for either person. So I'm going to guess that it can. So if that's your deal, if you're a guy and you want to dress up in a French maid costume your whole life and you just really can't bring yourself to do it, but in The Sims you live out your fantasies, your fantasy has come true. There you go. You've got it. Now let's move on because that's what they do. They move right on. Apparently it gets them right in the mood. And I hope that when you do these costumes, I'm going to assume it does because it's such an easy thing to add, that, you know, they get a flirty moodlet doing it, right? A flirty kind of moodlet really boosts that up, right? So they have really good woohoo later. You know, that's what I'm going to hope and guess is the case. And I imagine it probably will be. It certainly seems like it was because they hop immediately into, you know, the sheets O Love over there on the bed O Love. I'm going to use the word O Love, I think, a lot. The bed O Love, they get right down to business. The heart-shaped bed that everybody and God, except for me, has been wanting back in the Sims game. Now, I really could take it or leave it, but I see people so often just like crying and begging. I'm like, how much nostalgia do you guys have wrapped up in that bed? What did you do in that bed in the Sims 2? And was it 1 as well? 1 and 2? Was it in both those games, I think? Was it in 3? I can't remember. Why? Because I never used it. I do think it vibrated in like the Sims 1 and 2. But I don't think it'll vibrate in this game. It would be cool if it did. I do think it'd be cool if it did, but I never really used it. It's too corny. It's too cheesy for me. And if I do use it, it's probably just going to be in some roadside motel called the Motel O Love. And, you know, or the No-Tell Motel, you know, rooms by the hour O Love. And that's the only place I would use it, but it would be cool if it had a vibrating interaction in it. I think that'd be really cool, you know, for one of those. That's how those beds used to do, and it would just shake, you know, crazy. You've seen it in movies or whatever, but I don't think it will, but that's the way it was in other games. So, you know, ultimately it'd probably be disappointing to people, but it's back. It's back. Congratulations. We jump into some of the more meat of the pack. We get some on the bed cuddling. We get some sky watching. We get some woohoo blanket cuddling. All of that kind of comes in a sort of montage. Now, I'll tell you what. I'm seeing this whole trailer as just one day, right? Because I'm looking at these people. Did they just meet in the morning? They went straight to his apartment. They had woohoo. Now they're kind of out, all over the place, cuddling, kissing on the blanket. Oh, woohoo. And naturally, they do it there too, right? They get so worked up looking at the sky. She's got the stars in her eyes. He's got the stars in his eyes. And they get so worked up about it. Naturally, they have to roll up in that blanket into the cocoon o woohoo. And it is cute. It's cute. It's pretty simple. It's a pretty simple new item. But we love, this is one, what do we love in game? New places to woohoo. And there's two of them. A different closet. The closet kind of doesn't count because we have closet already, but it kind of does. So in the closet and now in a blanket rolled up on the ground like a cocoon. I thought it would have been really cool. At the end of it, it's just a typical stars and hearts type of stuff. I did think it'd be really cool if like the stars were in the shape of butterflies because it looks like a cocoon, right? Maybe butterflies burst out, right? It was so magical. It was so magical. It created butterflies, you guys, for real. That is apparently the end of that particular storyline, I guess, because we jump back to the lounge. We see a group of people playing a new game. I don't know what the guy in the furry suit is doing. Okay. Now, I get it. I get it if he's just wearing that out, but he doesn't look happy about wearing it out. So I don't know if that's some sort of humiliation thing going on there. I'm not going to guess. I'm not throwing shade either. If that's your deal, you let it be your deal. But I'm just seeing this guy. He's not happy. He's in like the blue bear suit, of unhappiness or sadness. The blue bear suit of sadness. That's what I'm going to call it from now on. The blue bear suit of sadness. And they're playing a game, and the game will be a cool addition to the game, I guess. It'll be, it'll be nice to have something else they can do. But I'm afraid like most of the other sort of games we get, there's never any skill involved. It's just clicking on it. And then the Sims go through their animations, and then there's a randomization factor, and they either win or lose, and they go through a follow-up animation. And that's always the way those sort of games go. So while I think it might be cool for some storytelling and some more things to have and build by, right? Something else to add to a room, something else to do. That's all I'm pegging it for. It'll be cool for the first couple of times, right? You're going to use it the first couple of times. It's going to seem really cool, and they're going to do some stuff. And then after a while, you're never going to do it again. That's what I think is going to happen, but it's okay. Now we get into one of my favorite parts of this particular trailer, and that is Miss Lonely Heart. She comes out of the bathroom. She sees the man or woman out of her dreams, because I don't know which one of them she's upset about. Maybe both. Maybe she's involved with both of those people, and now they're kissing each other, and it's broken her heart. It's broken her heart. So she dies. She dies on the spot of a broken heart. Tears, she's crying, and she grabs her heart, and she falls over dead, and Grimm shows up, and the guy kind of flirts with him a little bit, and Grimm's not having it. He's here for a soul, you guys, not for a date. He, collects her soul. I don't think we don't actually see that part, but, that I do love the new death. Again, what was I saying earlier? Simmers always love a new woohoo in game. They also love a new death in game, and we got both of those, so that's pretty cool. That's a pretty good addition with this pack. It is a neat, I like the animation, and it's a neat, simple sort of thing. I think it can work with storytelling a lot. It doesn't have to be dying of a broken heart. It looks a little bit like maybe she had a heart attack or something like that, right? Just kind of a general death. So it could be a good storytelling mechanism in the future. And with that, we're kind of coming to the end now. We're kind of in her bedroom, I think. Again, that person who just died, she's alive here. Yeah, she's still alive here. She has my favorite thing in the game, aside from a Penthouse Lot. I do love those too. But the little plush, the little heart-shaped plush, I'm dying. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. It is so, so cute. I'm hoping, again with the hope, but I'm hoping that like its face, is sad. It's also got a smiling face and a kind of a meh face, it's kind of like a middle ground face, right? Not happy or sad, just kind of worried maybe. I hope that changes based on your Sim's mood. I don't know that it really could unless you can assign it to a Sim, right? You assign it to ownership to a particular Sim, and then it reflects that Sim's mood. I hope that's the case. I hope that's what it'll do, because I love it and it's so cute. Now, I love it and it's cute, and I'll love it no matter what. But again, like with the mirror, it's going to be a much bigger addition to the game as an asset than if it's just a static item, right? If it changes based on your Sim's heartache. But he's still a take my money moment. And so is this eyeliner. I love this. Okay, you guys, I love it. So I love it. I love it because if I've seen it once, I've seen it 100 times. Someone running out of a nightclub, running out of a discotheque, that mascara running down their face with a river of tears while they cry their whole heart out because their life is over and this night will never end. And then they go to the gutter and they pass out and they wake up the next morning next to that bed you see there, because that's usually where people are going to dump a bed like that. Right on the side of the street, right in the gutter. And you thought you hit the bed as you passed out. You didn't. You landed right in the gutter. You did. Yeah, you thought you hit the bed, but you didn't. No, you didn't. That was just the alcohol kind of blurring your vision enough. And so we also had that broke ass, found on the side of the road, sleeping single in a double bed. That's the third item that we're seeing here on this screen now. These are the advanced purchase items. Now, I do not like advanced purchase items, and they're not really advanced purchase. You can purchase this after it comes out. You have to purchase it by September the 15th, which means it probably goes on sale September the 16th. But you have to purchase it, within those first 2 months or so. And you get these items. I don't like it when they do that. I don't. I really love these items. I really do. And I know a lot of other people would like them too. And there's going to be a lot of people in the future that miss out on it because either they don't have the money right now. Maybe they don't have the money for a couple of months. Maybe they're a younger kind of, teenager or something. And their mom's like, no, you can have it on your birthday. No, you can have it for Christmas. And both of those things come after September the 15th. Well, then you're kind of screwed, aren't you? It's kind of the way I look at it. And yeah, maybe someone somewhere might do a custom content version of them. Maybe, but I don't like to have to hope on that or count on that for people. So I don't like them, but I do love the items. I don't like the way they're given to us. I don't like what you have to do to get them, but I do love them. They're very cute. Super, super cute. And it comes out on July 25th. Now, it is available for pre-order right now. And it's available for pre-order right now. But let's get down to the nuts and bolts. So, assuming you want to pre-order. Do you want to pre-order it? This first trailer is like a lot of first trailers. It always leaves you feeling like, is that it? It does feel light, but that is so common with first trailers that I'm not sure it even really matters. Typically, that's the way it is, and then you have a follow-up trailer with the gameplay, and then you have a follow-up trailer with the world, and then you have a follow-up Max's live stream, and over all of those releases, it comes to look better. It comes to look like it has more going for it, and it kind of makes you feel like you want to buy it more. That's so typical in the past. I feel like it's kind of the same way now. That said, this feels light. This feels like a dating pack. And that's it. Feels like a dating pack, like a pack where you find and go on a date. But a lot of the stuff you're doing, we saw the new animations, but a lot of the stuff you're doing is going to be the same stuff you always do on a date. We know you can fashion your own dates from the leak. Of course, we do know that. But you're going to be doing stuff you've already got in game and that you've already done. It's just now your Sims are doing it as part of a date. We also know there's going to be a rabbit hole career coming with this pack. It's not shown in this trailer. Why? Because what are you going to show with the rabbit hole? You're going to show your Sim disappearing and a clock spinning around like crazy until they get home from work. I don't like rabbit hole careers. I never play them. That's a whole nother video. But we know that's coming as well. But I don't feel like the things we know are coming are really going to flesh this out that much. Being able to build your own date is really just another form of party, building your own party. And being able to have a rabbit hole career, I don't think is going to entertain that many people for very long. And I don't want to be totally negative. What we do see here does look good. Again, like typical, what we are seeing does look pretty good. We do have a lot of new interactions, and they look quite cute. We have the new Cupid Corner app, and it's pretty basic, but it's still going to be cool in game, I think. And the fact that it ties into the gallery is particularly cool. I think that's a really nice feature to add. I don't think it's a super huge feature though, and it looks like a basic UI interface. It doesn't look like it has that many options or that much customization to it, and especially since it seems like you're just going to be choosing single Sims. Now, if it comes up and you can choose couples or groups, then maybe I might feel like it's a little bit better. A little bit better if there's some more customizations, because it does look pretty basic at the moment. But do those assets really speak to the region that is supposed to be represented here? I mean, on first viewing on this trailer, I would say no, they don't. They speak to a particular era, maybe around the 70s and 80s, but it's not really tied to any particular spot. I mean, maybe Europe, maybe America, kind of in a general fashion, but there's nothing there that speaks to this being a Spanish or Latin American type of world, really, not as far as the build buy assets or even the cast assets. So while we're excited to get this new culture in this new world, it doesn't really feel that authentic. There's even a certain fallback on my Shuno assets, right? So that it feels a little bit like saying my Shuno in the city core. And I've already mentioned, it feels like there's a lot of base game assets in a lot of these pictures. Now, okay, maybe that's not unusual, but if it's not unusual, why do I feel like it's sticking out so much with this pack? I just feel like everywhere I look, I'm seeing stuff I've already seen before. I'm seeing my Shuno, I'm seeing base game. And that's a little worrisome because it's not carrying across the culture to me that we're supposed to have in this pack. Okay, so it's $40 in the United States and the same amount in the comparable currencies of other countries. And right now, based on this trailer and on the leak that came out, right, the big leak, does it seem like it's worth $40 of your entertainment budget? Does it seem like whatever you're going to have to give up in order to buy this is worth what you're seeing on the screen at the moment? Like always with the first trailer for me, I feel like the jury's still out a little bit on it. Yes, there's a world that I'm really excited to get, mostly because I want a new urban core with some new skyscraper lots. Unfortunately, the one lot we saw on this particular trailer is only 20 by 15. That really dampens and tempers down my excitement for that world. Otherwise, all I really see is that we have dating, right? And we have dating already. This is just an upgrade and an expansion to dating. Okay, well, it is an expansion pack. I get that. But is it big enough to justify $40 for those two things? And I don't know, and you probably don't know right now either. Now, I'll say this. I definitely have in my head stories I want to tell with it, right? I definitely can see builds I want to do with it, stories I want to tell with it, and I want to try to adapt it to my own game and my own play style. I'll admit that. I mean, looking at it, I think, oh, yeah, I could do this type of story and this type of story, but I'm not sure I couldn't just do those stories with what I've got on hand right now. I'm going to be honest. In fact, some of the builds I'm going to use for those stories I've built right now with what I've got in game, and looking at what is in the trailer, I'm not sure that I'm going to add a lot of that to the particular builds I have right now. Now, I might build a skyscraper. A skyscraper penthouse lot. I'm actually going to work on that. And a lot of the stuff might go in there. But, you know, I've built an apartment complex and I've built a discotheque. Nothing I really saw in this, or not a lot of it, is really going to go in those spaces. So that means I could probably tell those stories without that part of it. But some of the new interactions might be good for it. So I don't know. I am excited with this idea in my head of, yeah, I could tell these different stories and I could try this different sort of gameplay out. You know, the way I use it, building with it, doing cast creation with it, doing storytelling with it, doing videos with it, build videos with it, building with it, all the stuff that I do with the game and gameplay, all the stuff I do with the game, it typically does work out that it is worth it. I'll probably spend about 100 hours working with this pack, at least 100 hours initially. And then the stuff from the pack, I'll use who knows when and where in the future. So 100 hours into a $40, is about 40 cents per hour. So yeah, I mean, from that standpoint, it's not such a bad deal. But I still haven't conclusively decided. And at the end of the day, I might feel like for your average person, hey, wait for it to be on sale. Wait for it to go 40 or 50% off if it just feels like it's that much added to the game. If it's only feels like it's going to be that amount of addition to your game, then that's what you should pay for. Wait for a sale. But no matter what you decide on buying it, not buying it, when to buy it, how to buy it, I hope you'll decide to hit like, subscribe, and notify here on the channel for the upcoming videos. There'll be more trailers. There'll be a live stream, and I have, of course, build videos coming. We're going to start working on that penthouse for this new world coming up this weekend. And I have other sort of like John Titor Makes a Million, that sort of series I've been playing around with. More of that is coming up as well. So I do hope you'll hit like, subscribe, and notify. And until my next video, until the next time we see each other or live stream, watch for a live stream, thank you for watching.